It turns red, we're on. We're on. Welcome everybody to the special edition of Qnection here on KUHSdenver.com. Welcome everybody to the show. I'm glad you can join us in the studio with me, Mr. Albert Quintana. Albert, are you there, brother, to join us here on this beautiful show, the Qnection Show? Remember this?
Yes, this is
Hey,
bringing back a lot of memories. It feels good to be back with my childhood friend Henry Archuleta. We both went to Monaco Elementary back in Commerce City. Commerce City, the cradle of civilization.
You know what I call it?
Go ahead.
I call it the Holy Land.
Oh, of course.
You know why I call it the Holy Land? Everything you ever done was there.
Yes.
Your whole life was spent there as a teacher. And, you know, I never thought Albert Quintana would be a teacher at Adams City High School. Isn't that freaking cool?
I don't think anybody knew that.
Yeah.
I kind of surprised everyone.
That's so cool. And how many years did you go there?
Taught or?
Well, how many years did you teach there?
I taught there at 27, and then I put in about 3 to 4 more years substituting and working with special programs with at-risk students.
Isn't that slick?
So a little tough, but it was very rewarding. I feel like I am a very successful educator. I was a successful educator, and I think that this continues throughout my life now, because we don't only teach those kids that we are paid for teaching, we also teach those people, children, adults that are around us, in terms of being mentors, good role models, all of that stuff. Just more like evangelizing good people.
And, you know, you've come this far and used to have your own show here on KUHSdenver.com. It used to be called the Author Show, and that's how it first started. And then you changed it into Qnection. What a cool name.
I was connecting with the people out there. I was bringing in authors from all over the place, and just a great experience. I got to meet some really, really intelligent authors out there who had very, very interesting books. Books are really important. The more and more I think about it, we need to bring our kids to that level of reading. We don't have enough of that reading going on in our communities. And parents, I'm sorry, but you need to make time for your children. And it's more than just taking them to the library, but also probably just being with them and reading along with them. I think the most appropriate way to do it, or the most successful way, is parents, you have a book, they have a book. You spend 20 to 30 minutes a day reading that book, they're reading that book, and that helps them know that it's a very important thing. I've got a frog in my throat, Henry. Where did it come from? I feel like it's going to leap right out of my throat. This is nuts. Órale.
I was having that problem earlier. Wes, you know, the cloud change and all that, you know, coming to the Mile High city of Denver. You're now in Oklahoma, right? Tell us about the change. I know you went through some changes here. You went from Denver, Colorado to Oklahoma, and you know the atmosphere, everything is different.
Well, yes, for one thing, the humidity is really, really thick there. The temperature pretty much is pretty nice. You get a lot of wind. Like I said, your skin is very moist. Over here in Colorado, you see a lot of the dryness on your arms. When you're sleeping at night, your throat's dry from the dry air.
And you get frogs.
And sometimes
the heebie-jeebies. Toads.
But you know, we're having a lot of fun there. Louise and I, we have a beautiful home.
Now, what's cool is Louise was a teacher also out at Adams City High School. What does she teach? We got to give her a little props
Oh
because
yeah.
she came in here and was doing this in a bilingual format for a
Oh
while.
yeah.
You remember
Yes.
that?
You know, Louise is an awesome person. I adore the ground she walks on. She's my wife. She's my love.
You bet.
Oh,
You're really
baby.
you're pouring it on. Come on, you guys must have
Okay.
been mad on the way
Let's go
here.
ahead and give her a shout out.
You must
I
have.
can see you right now, Louise. Just
You
smiling
must
away.
have. You're just doing this
Oh wow,
because
this
she.
is really cool. But you know, it's those years as a middle school teacher and a high school teacher in District 14 were incredible. I
The
met
kids.
some of the best kids in the this awesome kids. I went by most of the kids called me Mr. Q. I used to always start off my class introducing myself as that individual who goes out there and who's had the experience of being in the same seat that they're in, but I'm in front of the classroom and I'm teaching.
And do you ever give that some thought? Did you ever get like some deja vu and how you felt as a student out there? And here's your kids in there. You're like thinking, am I really up here in front of this
Well,
class doing this?
yes, I did because I thought about some of our middle school teachers. I can remember Mr. Seard. He was my science teacher, and Mr. Seard was probably one of the greatest teachers I've ever had. He was really into the animal world, and he had all these stuffed animals and stuffed birds, and so we'd have to know all these different birds. We'd have to know all the classifications of the different animals. I don't know if Henry remembers that. I don't even know if he had Mr. Seard.
And I did have Mr. Sears, and I had a lot of different people that I used to have before.
Nikki
And
Minutia.
I don't
Joint
know what's
reading.
going on.
Joint reading.
Let's go with joint reading. Here's Snoop and his bestie Wiz
Well,
Khalifa
looks
to
like
read
we're
from his
gonna
little
have
Dr.
It
Seuss.
just like turned up on its own.
Snoop Doggy Dog. Snoop Doggy.
Because we have all kinds of crazy things. I mean, earlier we rewired this whole place to do some different things because we're bringing in all this new technology. So I was trying to hurry and finish up some things. All this new stuff is we had some dual feeds and it was overlaying and but we're getting it little by little, so it comes out really really nice. And now it's this live Facebook picture in picture, or like it looks like FaceTime except it's live Facebook.
I just heard.
It's like it's gone to this whole different level of what we're doing. And now you're with the Mevo camera. I was showing you how the Mevo camera works, and it's just incredible. Like we can zoom in, zoom out. It's got 9 different cameras in one, and utilizing all the best and the greatest to, get our message out for Albert. He's now an author for a former teacher, Adams City High School, from where I went to school, the Holy Land.
And the cradle of civilization. Why? Because that's where life started for me.
In the tadpoles, where they used to go collect the tadpoles.
Tadpoles, we used to call them pollywogs. I don't know if Henry remembers that one.
Oh yeah, and then we say pollywog and save them till they turn into frogs, and now they're getting in his throat.
This is nuts. Yes, I'd like to thank Henry because I'm here to.
A special edition. This is a special
Special
edition
edition.
of the Qnection. For in case those who are joining us barely now, in the studio with me, Albert Quintana from all the way from Oklahoma, Okefenokee. Okie dokie. But he's from out there now. He's not from Denver anymore, so we can tease him all we want now.
Y'all.
Y'all hear what I'm talking about, y'all? So we have a good time with doing all these fine things in life, and now Albert, he started in the show as the Qnection, and he left, and now we're doing a special edition for him because of his books, and we're going to get into all the books that you have here and give it at least 5 minutes each one, and then the latest one, The Crochet Lady.
Okay.
And let's start off with A Teacher Grows Up in Commerce City. That's the first one, right?
Yes.
And so I'll put that up there so you can see it. This is called The Teacher Grows Up in Commerce City. That was his first release, his first book, which is really a good book, good reading material, and you can find it on Author House. And then he went into, well, let's go over that one and then kind of brief your audience of what's
let's
going
go
on.
ahead and preface this to a point. Ooh, that sounded really intelligent. Didn't it? Let's preface this point.
Class.
by saying one thing. How did I get started doing this? One of the things that School District 14 had was a program called SSR, Sustained Silent Reading, at the beginning of the day, and each teacher in front of his class would read a book silently as they read their books. So I got really excited, and a bunch of books were donated to me. I chose the book Reign of Gold by Victor Villaseñor. And Victor Villaseñor is a very prominent author out there who writes about the Southwest history, fictional history, historical fiction rather. And so I got pumped, and I said, well, if he could do it, why can't I do it? Because I have some stories. Well, a teacher grows up in Commerce City actually was is my first book, and it's my first book. It helped me, and allowed me to talk a little bit about my childhood. And I think the emphasis of the book is the great teachers I had at Monaco Elementary, Adams City Junior High, and Adams City High School. But my greatest teachers were the ones in middle school, because they taught me everything that I needed to know. There was more learned in middle school. So my stories come from that premise, my middle school learning. I also was able to share with people about the outlook of working with our kids. So those people who are interested, I'm going to be selling that book on Saturday at Adams City High School, 2 p.m. at the Commons area. So please come, and you can get that for $10. My second book.
Well, you got to go up toward the camera, Albert.
Oh, sorry.
So, you're looking at me and stuff. The camera's up there. You want to say hello? There's some people, and we're going to say hello to them. And I do see Carmen Gomez, Darlene
Hi,
Hernandez, Elizabeth Jacone, and Carlos Mora I see up there.
Wow.
So you may want to say hello to them.
Shout outs to those great people. In fact, we can kind of skip ahead a little bit.
Why?
And
I want to talk about No More Green Chili.
Okay.
Why are you skipping ahead?
Well, I guess it does apply to this one.
Yeah, see?
Carlos Mora, who lives also in Edmond, Oklahoma, is the designer of this book cover, No More Green Chili. As you can see, it pretty much shows a field. A lot of our people were migrant farm workers. And that talks about my mother's family, who were migrant farm workers in Colorado. And the stories talk about.
Did they go pick in Brighton?
They picked in Brighton. Well, it starts off in Trinidad, and they go all the way to near Colorado Springs, Fountain, Colorado.
Yeah.
Because they migrants, and they made their way to Fort Collins, picking beets, pickles, anything that was pickable. Okay.
Then you can go into your other book.
And this will be sold on Saturday for $15.
Let me give him hold that up right there. I'm going to give him a quick, I'm going to go zoom in on it for you. And hold it there for a second. And I'm going to do a zoom in for you. And then
Going to test my endurance?
Yeah, see how long you can hold that. We're going to see if you can hold this for at least 1 minute, and you win the new book, The Crochet Lady. But if you can't hold it up longer than 1 minute. So there you have it.
I'm trying, really.
Go ahead. That's good.
Okay.
I got it up there.
If you look at the back,
Okay, we'll zoom in on that one.
Zoom on that little guy right there.
I'll zoom in on it. Okay. Now, we're going to zoom in on that one for you, too.
Okay.
This is No More Green Chili. And what do you have to say about that one?
Well, here we have as we zoom in, and you can see a jalapeno. I call him Helly the jalapeno. What happened was, Louise and I, we decided that we wanted to I guess we got to flip it around the other way.
No, you're fine.
No, it's fine.
This is on a
Okay.
delay.
So,
So don't
we're
get-
flipping the baby over, and you see a jalapeno there, but you see the jalapeno with a smile on his face. That actually came off the grill, just like that. So we call him Hallie. Hallie the jalapeno. Orale.
And you'd like to say hello to, looks like Manuel Solano joined you, and Georgiana Valentina. Valentine.
Wow, Manuel, how you doing, Manuel?
And there's the jalapeno. You can see it right there.
All right.
So it's on the delay, so I know it's kind of throwing you
So
off.
this
the
is
mark.
really good. This is really good. Blessed because the book primarily is about my mom.
How come everybody says blessed? I mean, that's like a commonly coined phrase. I think everybody's taken up on it. So I threw something out there. A priest came in here with Charlie, who's up at the Vatican talking to the Pope.
Oh, okay.
That priest came in here and really blessed me. So I had to tell everybody, I'm blessed, for real. He blessed my forehead and blessed the studio.
Wow.
And now they're in Rome at the Vatican.
Well, you got some special.
So now I'm
blessings there.
blessed.
Seriously.
Now you can't say you're blessed.
Well, I'm baptized.
Now you also, we'll go back to the book, but we have to tell your audience, say, hey, you haven't been here for a while. You used to play in church too.
Yeah, my wife and I and my sister Bernadine, we all used to play at Our Lady Mother of the Church. And
You still playing at
we
the
did
church?
music. No, we don't play anymore. Actually, the music group in Edmond, Oklahoma is so good. I can't even say how we could add to it. It's just like, now we're just enjoying the good music.
Yesterday I had a guest on here. His name is Greg Goodall. And he was playing on stage with all these superstars, including the drummer of Gladys Knight. And, you know, all these big names were up on the stage with him. He goes, you don't get on that stage unless you know how to play.
Exactly.
And what he meant by that is, unless you're an accomplished player, you can't add to something that is just off the hook good. You know, you can play along, but they'll look at you like,
Yeah, you could always get some vibes.
I guess
On the other hand, too, if you play better than them,
then
then you get vibes again the other way, and
they don't like you on their stage.
you can tell when they stop looking at you while you're playing. But you know, I don't. It's their gig, and they're in charge, and I respect that when people are in charge of their own music and they just call you on to help, and you have to respect that, just like.
So you're not playing in the church no more?
No, we're not playing anymore. But we did get the opportunity to go to Holy Cross Church to play music, and we met a very special lady there, Tommy Salazar, and she played guitar, and she sang beautifully, just like my wife Louise, and it was us three, and we had a flute player who's also from Commerce City, Colorado, Janet Hedgeland. I don't know if Janet's out there. She might be out there. Janet, her maiden name was Mascareñas,
I remember her, yeah.
and she plays the flute, and she is like awesome.
Sounds so good, really. You know, my granddaughter took up the flute. Of course, I've been pushing her around because she really loves the flute. She picked it up the other day, and I thought, my Lord, you just started playing it. She goes, I know, but I really like it, and just was wailing away. I'm like, oh my God, this little girl. And
It's really a unique
yeah,
instrument.
she plays away on it, and she loves to sing too. So I'm thinking,
Oh, there you go.
and she's got the beautiful name for it. You know, she's got the looks, got everything.
What's her name?
Monet.
Monet.
And she comes and does shows in here with me too, so that's kind of nice.
Okay.
So she's not afraid of the cameras or anything, is it?
Well, it's really interesting. You talk about names. My second daughter, Melody, Louise named her because she wanted her to sing.
So Melody is part
Melody
of it.
is her name. So.
Hey,
And-
Mr.
And then we have
Melody.
Javier, who ends up not being a singer, but Javier ends up being a wrestler, state wrestler. So that's a real change there.
Okay, now tell me this: how did you get into the crochet lady? From all wrestling, no more green chili. A teacher grows up in Commerce City. Now are you crocheting now? And Are you, Albert? You're the crochet lady, aren't you?
No, I'm not the crochet lady. It kind of reminds me of Bates Motel or Psycho.
But I don't remember Bates Motel along.
Yeah.
Was that on Highway 6 and 85?
I know it was a special on TV, but
Oh,
it was like part of Psycho and
she was breaking that guy's.
Norman Bates
Yeah.
and his mom Nora Bates.
Okay, let me zoom in on that.
Okay.
You want to hold
Let's
it
go ahead
real
and get a
steady,
zoomer in
up
here.
up a little high right there, and then I'll zoom in on it. Okay. And if you're watching, Albert, if you're watching the monitor, give it some time because it's a 16-second delay, and that way I can
Okay.
correct anything. And I know you're blessed to be able to hold this up.
I've always been blessed, you know. Like I said, I'm baptized.
I want to know who's blessing you. Who's blessing everybody? Okay, come on, tell me who is blessing you. I got really blessed. Okay, so.
Just don't know it. You know, it happens every day.
Okay, there you go.
When
The
you're able to see.
crochet lady. Talk about the crochet lady. There, you got a good look at
Well, the
that.
crochet lady is.
You're gonna take it
was
down
all
now.
started. It's all about a promise. My mother-in-law. I had the opportunity of bringing in. Louise and I brought in my mother-in-law, Maria Ida Cisneros, into our house, and one of the things that she loved to do was crochet. Well, she was on her last days, and during that time,
Of crocheting or last days of
it was
living?
her last days of living, and she crocheted, and that's how she kept busy. But she was in her last days. She went totally deaf.
Wow.
And before she went totally deaf, she says, Albert, I want you to write my story. And I told her, yes, I'll write your story. So this book is about the story of the crochet lady, Maria Ida Cisneros, the mother of Louise Cisneros, my wife. And, you know, it seems like you always hear jokes about people making jokes about mother-in-laws and what a pain they could be. But Maria Ida Cisneros, the crochet lady, was a blessing, as we just talked about, and she was able to teach us how to love, because during her last days, it was really hard. I interviewed her because she had gone deaf, with a white board and markers. I'd ask her a question, show it to her, and she'd write back. So the whole book's on that is on that premise. So again, we're going to take another zoomer on the crochet lady, and if you look really closely, you see a picture of her. That's her self-portrait, because there was a time there at the end when she could not crochet anymore, but she kept herself busy by doing crafts. So she did a little bit of painting, a little bit of drawing. She did what she could. Then we lost her a day before Thanksgiving.
So this book is more or less dedicated to the crochet lady.
Yes, dedicated to the crochet lady, but there is historical fiction. There is some stuff in there that parallels what was going on in history at that time.
Wow.
I'll give you a little tidbit. She was also during the time when she was in her younger years as a teenager, she was a lumberjack. She worked for her stepfather, and she was strong as a man.
And for all of those who just joined us, Albert Quintana from Adams City High School. We're alumni. Aren't we from the same high school? But they threw down our high school. They knew we were from there, and they threw it down.
Did we used to go out with the same girls?
No. No.
Don't go there.
No, don't go there, please. No, Albert. No. You just messed up the whole interview. Okay, so.
Okay, let's catch our breath here.
Now
He's in trouble.
Earlier, man, I'm blushing now. I'm gonna hide. Now, earlier, we were talking about all the things that we used to do when we were growing up. And, you know, I used to swim at Boys Paradise in the dump and jump over there at the Rainbow Bread Company for the day-old donuts and stuff. I'm still doing that. But not jumping over there. Just go buy them. They're hard as rock, you know.
Just put them in the microwave.
Yeah, that's what I do. We eat them up, you know. And so it's like, all this fun time you've had growing up in Commerce City. You've gone to Adams City High School, became a teacher, a foremost teacher, a well-known teacher. And even here in the studio, Steve Stalzi came and he's a DJ here. His father was my teacher, who was your
Colleague.
part of your being a colleague there,
He was my colleague.
and he used to be your teacher, wasn't he?
No,
No, it was mine then.
We went opposite. Either you had Capra or Stallsley.
Well, I
Henry.
had them both.
Okay, well, that year Stallsley was in the other section, and I was.
And so Steve Stalzi's father also was a teacher next to you as a colleague. And Albert, you went through school. Now you've got 3 books. Three
books.
3 books. And did you ever think in your lifetime, knowing you, Albert, we were talking earlier how we grew up, what we did. He was a big mess up. He was always starting fights. And,
Don't believe that.
and then let me go out and try to end it. You did. You and Harry Quintana. Yeah, you remember we were going down Broadway and no, I can't say that. Don't go there. No.
Don't go. Don't believe him, Luis.
You know your husband. And he's here in the studio. It's really nice to have you here, Albert. The Qnection is live and in living color here. And we're going to throw up one book after another so you can see what Albert's done. And then we're going to end up with the Crochet Lady of where you can go see Albert. Have him sign this book. And it's going to be at Adams City High School. Tell us more about that.
Adams City High School. There will be a book signing party I believe in the Commons area. Adams City High School, the new Adams City High School is at 7200 Quebec Parkway. Let me repeat that, 7200 Quebec Parkway. Also, if you can't make it, I also have the books. All three books will be there at the high school. So you have that availability to get these books, and just come. It's just.
Are they going to have some jalapeno poppers there?
Oh man, I don't know.
You should have jalapeno poppers. Everybody will show up. Now in Oklahoma, do they have medicinal marijuana cookies? LSB tokeless cookies? Because here you could serve some LSB tokeless cookies.
Oh my. No, we don't have any of that. I don't even think. No, we don't even have medicinal marijuana in Oklahoma. It's pretty conservative, and it's easy for me to. I don't have to worry about walking out of my house and smelling skunk weed.
Over here, there's no skunk weed.
That happened the other day when I walked out of the airport. The first smell I was that.
Really?
Skunk weed.
Well, you know what I like to do sometimes is I like to go to the airport and just walk through where they frisk you and let them frisk me 2 or 3 times. It's a really nice turn on,
Jump back, Jack.
Ooh, I like that. Well, go through, sir. Go through.
Oh,
so, you don't have to play that with me. And when you go through the airport, did they ever take you off and double check you to make sure you're not a terrorist?
No, but they when we went to Hawaii, we took Louise, the Crochet Lady, and my mom to I believe it was Florida, and when they came back through, all of us went through except for the 2 elderly ladies. They were held.
And frisked.
I don't know about frisked, but they sure took a little time with them, and they let them through. So I don't know. Maybe they have some of those characteristics that I didn't know about.
Now, look, we're going to discuss some other subjects. We've got the Crochet Lady, no more green chili. There's a lot of subjects out there online and all over the news about, these women coming up and saying, he groped me.
Okay. Why are we going here, man?
Well, there's this is a big subject.
Okay.
And there's a lot of stuff that we go back in the day of how things used to be.
Yeah.
And you go call on the phone, go call your girlfriend. You wouldn't have cell phones, all this kind of crap. And now you can't even go to work with somebody because if you're cute, it's a date. If you're ugly, call human services. Call,
911.
Yeah.
Ugly alert.
I just thought I'd throw that in there because, Albert, it's fun having you here. You're always ready to joke with me. We go back a long, long, long way, all the way to elementary school. You remember the good times? Mrs. Cranig from elementary school. You remember?
She was our principal. I think it was one of the first female principals in the state of Colorado.
And a big shout out goes out to Loretta Garcia Small. She's making dancing goat milk soap, and she's going to be a sponsor. We're going to be giving away some of her product all the way from Paonia, Colorado. So make sure and check that out. Um,
Is Jeff Penny out there?
I don't see
Jeff Penny, I'd like to give you a shout out. You did ask for one. Louise, Melody, Carlos, Monty, Cortez.
And someone, this Darlene Hernandez is liking of what you're saying.
Okay.
Some funny stuff. So
Oh, she said that?
yeah,
Okay.
good one, Albert. I don't know how good that one was about probably dating these girls. We dated the same
Oh, I thought it
girls.
was a jalapeno. It had a smile on his face.
It did, didn't it? That's
Yes,
what
it
that
did.
jalapeno is all about.
Yeah.
No, but really, you have you ever thought of that? You have jalapeno poppers. Everybody shows up to the party. Did you know that? You didn't know that, did you?
No, but jalapeno poppers are pretty good. I do like them.
Everybody does. So don't forget to go to the book signing for The Crochet Lady at Adams City High School. Albert, any closing statements on all these 3 books you have? It's been real. It's been awesome having you here in the studio live. You haven't been here since how long? A year?
It's been about a year and a half,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 2 years.
And so we've got some new technology in here that we're having.
I do
fun
have a
with.
couple of concluding comments. One of them is that the books that I write are about hidden history. This is history that's never going to be talked about unless we bring it out. Our generation, our people. It's all about folklore. Corridos, the stories of our people, the stories of all those people out there that have made America great. Not to coin the president, but there are a lot of people that have made America great. But their histories, their stories are hidden, and we as educators. My upcoming books are going to talk a little bit more about people with differences. My next book is going to be entitled Not From Poland. So that's going to be my next one, and then I'm just messing around with a lot of other stuff on dealing with alcoholism, a lot of the people that deal with alcoholism. Okay.
And there's a lot of people dealing with alcoholism. It's like, don't drink and drive. You'll have a cop as a chaser.
Wow. That wouldn't be fun.
I got pulled over. I was drinking and driving. Did I tell you what happened?
No.
And I don't know what. I just didn't get it. He says, roll down the window, and I roll down the window, and it says, driver's license and registration. In case I give it to him, and he says, have you been drinking, Mr. Archuleta? I go, no, officer. Step out of the car, Mr. Archuleta. No, you get in. I'm too fucked up. So I don't know why they took me in. You know what I mean? It's okay, Albert. We can say those kind of words every now and then. It makes for a great interview. Here on KUHS, Albert Quintana, Mr. Q. It's been real. It's been right on. I love having him in here. I always shake his hand like this.
All right, let's do this. Okay.
So don't forget, book signing, Adams City High School with the Crochet Lady. And that time again, Albert, let's give him one more
2
time.
p.m. tomorrow, Adams City High School, 7200 Quebec Parkway. All books will be up for sale there. And
if you bring some jalapeno poppers, you get it autographed free by Albert Quintana.
okay.
So that concludes our show for today. So until next time, watch for this great shows that we come up. We've got some other specials that we're going to be doing. And don't forget, we've got a special coming in all the way from the Vatican, from Rome, with Charlie Pacello. And it's going to be broadcast here into KUHSdenver.com. What a treat that is going to be for being able to do something like that. We've been doing some incredible things here at KUHSdenver.com, and it's just nonstop, one thing after another. We did a lot of fundraisers for the Puerto Rico people, and thanks to the Love Doctor, Danny Yu, for putting that together, and also Shawana. You guys did a fabulous job. Also, we've got Sylvia Tazeri. She's going to be bringing in some wrestlers for the the wrestling that's coming up, and also we've got the Blizzards bringing in tickets also for the brand new Blizzards. And Sylvia and her friend are broadcasting that live on streaming. That's a 9 News stream, and you'll be able to watch that too, courtesy of KUHS Denver and everybody that's here. So for now, we'll see you all later.
Bless y'all. Is that a good ending? Bless y'all. Get some comments up there?
Oh, yeah. Jessica Quintana said, hi, Henry. Carlos Mora, Darlene Hernandez. She kept talking shit about you. Tyler Bright. Don't forget, you're still live on this one.